Hello, everybody. Welcome to Building Energy. This is a product promo with NRP Jones. And today we have Joe Kochan. He is the CEO with NRP Jones. And we also have Joe Lark, VP of Business Development. Joe, welcome to the show. I guess I'll start here with Joe Kochan because you're the CEO. Maybe just kick it off. A quick overview of what you offer to the oil and gas sector.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks, Roy. We're excited to be here today, chatting with you and just sharing about the company and the markets we serve, particularly the oil field products. We're an 80-year-old company this year. It's amazing how time flies. I know I have not been here during a lot of that time, but quite a foundation in the industry. And, I look forward, Joe Lark is going to speak more to the product side, but we offer quite an array of products, from rotary hose to BOP to hand-built hose to the oil field. So it's a great market, and we have a great product offering that really serves them well.
Excellent. And then, over to you, Joe, is maybe touch on a little bit more of that longevity that NRP has had in the industry as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We got started in 1945, as a machining company, really screw machines, focused on those types of products, and eventually started to narrow in on hydraulic fittings, really serving, larger, customers, white labeling, not even our own name brand. And then over the time and over years, we decided that, hey, we're pretty good at this, and decided that we were going to launch our own name in the market and drive down that path. And over the years, we've migrated, or not really migrated, but added, one-piece fittings, eventually getting into, hose manufacturing out in Nephi, Utah, everything from, flex mandrel and SAE type product, the old 100R1, 100R2, and eventually 16 and 17s to oil field, the products that I just mentioned. And in 2011, we were actually acquired by a private equity firm in Houston, Main Street Capital, that's been just a tremendous partner to the business.
Okay.
And, what's been, interesting is, Main Street's not, isn't the kind of firm that, has a timeline. They've really invested, for the future and have supported the business over several years. I've enjoyed being here. I think about a year and a half now. And, we've done a lot of fun things. I think we'll probably talk about that later. But, we continue to move the business forward, leveraging, the foundation that's been built over the last 80 years and really creating the future and vision for the upcoming years.
Okay, that's a great overview. And Joe Lark, I'll put it over to you. Maybe expand even more on the capabilities with the oil and gas. So you're manufacturing all within the USA then as well?
Right. Yes, we are. In fact, we're only one of two domestic manufacturers of oil field products in this sector. And obviously it's a very, tumultuous industry. It comes and goes, and we're kind of setting ourselves up now for that next wave of increased business. We definitely see an uptick in quoting and interest in the product line. So it's like I say, we're one of two domestic manufacturers. It really places us well, not only in flexibility and manufacturing at our sites, but also setting up sub assemblers within the markets where the hoses are used. Which really kind of gives us a leg up on the markets, especially with all the tariff concerns and other things going on in the world. So we are really working hard at positioning ourselves to capture the markets.
One question with that too is, so obviously there's oil and gas. So you've got like your traditional pipelines, you've got you've got offshore too, but like with your hose products as well and the fittings, do you go into like the fracking areas as well? Is that a specialty that you can offer service in?
Yeah, definitely. So all through the processes, from the drilling, to the fracking, to the oil well servicing. I mean, obviously in the there's several different stages that go on in the process. and we can participate all along the way, with specialty hoses for for all the processes.
Follow-up question to that. Like you mentioned, you went from white labeling to manufacturing your own product lines. And when did that start? So I know, Joe Kochan, you mentioned I think you mentioned the rotary hose, the BOP hose, and then you've got frack hose and hand-built hose. So that's all domestically being made now in the USA?
Yes. Yeah. We, starting in 1945, from 45 until, the 70s, it was largely just screw machine type products and white labeling. And it was in the 70s that we decided to launch our own name brand. And yes, we are a domestic manufacturer. We're machining fittings in LaPorte, Indiana, on the larger oil field fittings and ends. We're partnering with domestic manufacturers, here in the United States, and on the oil field hose, we're making those products out in Nephi, Utah. And I want to say, if anybody wants to come visit, it's a great visit to Nephi, and then we'll head up north to Salt Lake City and look for some snow to play in. It's a great area to have a business and to have some meetings.
You heard that, viewers? Make sure you contact them and set that up. The other thing too I wanted to touch on is, so obviously with that manufacturing capabilities, are you looking at potentially new products in development as well that will be coming down in the pipeline? Is that something that's in the process too? It's always interesting if there's new products that you're potentially launching into the market space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's a great point. I'm glad that you brought it up. So most of our leadership team is new to the company, even though I've been dealing with NRP Jones for about 37 years with other jobs that I had. And one of our goals right now is that, it's an 80-year-old company that needs to be refreshed, right? So we're working very hard on rebranding and really reintroducing NRP Jones to the market. And really it's getting great reception out there.
Okay.
We're just kind of shining it up and bringing it into the 21st century.
Mm-hmm. But we are, part of that, and Joe, just to add, we do have new product development. We've got a couple things that both we're working on, as well as we've actually done some field application testing, and we're quite excited about it. I think we'll leave the excitement out there and let people wonder what could that be. But it's coming, and we're pretty excited about it. We think it's going to really change some of the product lines, applications, and functions out in the oil field.
I was going to mention too, so obviously huge oil and gas market there in the USA. Are you seeing opportunities in the Middle East as a growing hub? Do you service worldwide with your products too?
We do. I'll add a little bit, and then Joe can expound as he'd like. But we definitely, are shipping overseas. Both whether it's the Middle East, to the African coast, the Caribbean, into the Philippines. Our product and our name is quite well known, and we're regularly servicing those markets through partners.
Yeah, but we're seeing a little influx in RFQ activity, definitely out of the other markets, globally.
Excellent. The before we wrap, I did want to touch up to going through on your specific hose lines as well. I know you get into fittings too. Just maybe give the viewers, if they're watching for the first time, just an overview of the rotary hose, the BOP hose, the frack hose. I mean, that name sort of stands out for itself. And then the hand-built hose. Maybe Joe Lark, I'll put it over to you first, and then if Joe, you have anything to add.
Sure. So the type of hose that goes into the oil industry it's a real select group of hose, specifically designed and manufactured around the processes that they're being used for. So you have the BOP, you have mud hose, you've got rotary hose. So everything is part of a system that goes onto the oil rigs and into the fracking rigs. So we're pretty well rounded in our offering with all the, the different needs that the market has.
Yeah, I would agree with Joe. It's well said and described. I'll add, we also, clearly offer, hydraulics, whether it's, two-wire, spiral, we have a full solution, for the oil field, so whether it's the specialty products or your typical two-wire and spiral type hose products, we offer the complete package.
Excellent. And so for anybody that wants more information on those specific products, what would be the best, what's the best avenue to contact you? We'll obviously put like your website and your LinkedIn information in this episode, but is it best to kind of check out the website and then email about the specific things, or what's the best way?
Yeah, that's a great question, because I can talk about our new website.
Nice.
We've spent the last year and a half really, focusing on driving, on moving the business forward. So whether it's the new brand, the new website, et cetera, we feel it's a much easier and friendlier website to use. So go to our website. We also have forms for anybody that's interested. They can put in their information, their critical information there, and we'll reach right out to them. They can also, send an email to sales@nrpjones.com, and we have a tremendous customer care team that will reach out to them as well. So we have a number of ways, for our current and future partners to reach out to us and ask for solutions and input and really drive and support that curiosity.
Fantastic. Any closing remarks or anything for this? But it's been great to have you on this Building Energy product promo. But any closing thoughts from either one of you as we wrap it up?
Yeah, I think Rory, it's a great time to spend with you and definitely appreciate the opportunity. I just leave it and Joe can wrap up or add his thoughts as well. But NRP Jones is a company that's moving forward as a company. We're moving, we're looking, and we're developing our future. And that's important as we really make sure that our partners in the markets look to us as not somebody that was there, but we are there, and we're going to be there in the future. And it's exciting. We're continually looking for ways of getting better, of listening, and ensuring that we're providing the solutions that we're out in front of the customer. And that's what's going to continue to really make sure that we continue to be a pivotal part of the fluid conveyance industry and the oil and gas market.
Great. And anything closing for you, Joe, as well?
Yeah, I mean that's very well said, and I just want everybody to follow us and look at the good things that we're doing in the market. I'm excited about it. The team's very excited, and we have a renewed energy on the team, to take us to the next level. So really appreciate your time and the attention.
Love it. And thank you, everybody, for watching this episode of Building Energy. You can subscribe on YouTube, follow Building Energy on LinkedIn, obviously follow NRP Jones on LinkedIn, and visit their website. And we will see you next time on the show. Thank you, everybody.